I'm Karen Shaw, and I'm a storyteller.
You got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no, you're calling my phone. I'm being patient, but I'm all alone.
I was in advertising for many, many years, and in print advertising, actually, and web when that came out. And I loved every minute of it. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And then the agency I was working at was losing clients and started laying off people, downsizing quite a bit. I knew at some point it was going to be my turn, and sure enough, it was. And I always say that advertising invented ageism. So I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be, too great for me at this point. So I said to a friend of mine, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And she said, well, what's your passion? And I said, I love doing my photo books. And she said, well, go ahead. So I did. And of course, with my luck, I had a business that depended on vacations and events. And 3 months after I started my business, we had a lockdown. There were no vacations, there were no events. And so someone suggested, before I have a heart attack, network. So I started networking, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, really. Because sometimes, you get so bogged down and you're so busy, you just want to press pause on the world so it'll stop and until you can catch up, and then you can press restart and you're good to go. And that's kind of what happened with me. And so the people in the networking community were extremely kind and very forthcoming with reasons to do books, because I had a list of reasons this big, milestone birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, that kind of thing. And it just became so large, the list. I mean, it's infinity. It's basically whatever it is you want it to be. So my company grew from the inside. And then I met someone who did my rebranding and coaching and taught me so much. I hate using this expression because it's overused right now, but I learned what I didn't know I didn't know. And so I grew. So coming out of the lockdown, I was different. My company was different, and it was just much fuller and more knowledgeable, and that much better.
Oh no, you're calling my phone. I'm being patient, but I'm all alone. Staying faithful, I'll never know when you're coming back.
I'm not a salesperson. I can't sell a thing. If I picked up this pen and I said to you, I'm selling this pen, and you said, oh, I like the shape, but I don't like black, I would say, oh, and I put it down. That's it. If you're not happy, you don't like it, I'm not pushing it. So uh, that would make this business difficult for me. But because I love my books so much, the adrenaline is what sells, because I'm just like, just totally, I could talk for hours and just talk faster and faster and faster. I opened up a second business at the same time I opened this one, and it was Elder Care. The name of the company is Elder Care 411, because I'm like a matchmaker of sorts. A client would come to me looking for certain resources, and I put them together with the resources that they needed. And I was speaking to someone who was a speech therapist. We had a one-to-one, and because I had a client who was looking for one. And so we were talking, and I never mixed and matched the two companies. They're totally different worlds, different everything, and I kept them separate. But somehow or other, it came into the conversation, and I don't remember how or why, but um, all of a sudden she said, just stop for a minute. She said, forget the elder care. She says, when you were talking about the elder care, you were talking about it. It was fine. This is what I do. The minute you started talking about your books, your face changed, your tone of voice changed, the speed of your voice, of your, your speech changed. Everything about you just lit up like a neon sign, and you just went for it. So that was when I just kind of knew this was it for me.
You got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me.
It was before the lockdown, and I was posting on social media, and just talking to people, but mostly it was posting because I wasn't networking at that time, really. And I felt my business was flatlining. I always said that I'm more creative than the layperson, but not creative enough to put a roof over my head. And that was for advertising. This kind of creative is totally different. But I was thinking more in terms of advertising. And I said, even before I went into advertising, but so what I did was I did animation and I did music. I had no voiceover because I never felt that my voice would be good enough to do that. And I would never be in one because, oh my God forbid, I should be in one. And like you said, I'm not an actress at all. What you see is what you get. That's it. So I did these videos that I thought were pretty good. I mean, they weren't great. They're not award winning, but I thought they were, they were cute. They were nice, and they had bouncy music, and it was all very nice. But I didn't get one comment, not one question, nothing. Nobody called me. Nobody. How much do they cost? How long does it take? Can I see a real book? Can we have a meeting? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I was devastated. And I kept saying that's what I kept saying. And I would say, God forbid I should get a client, and it was awful. It was really awful. And things kind of turned around for me in my mind. And I mean, I was getting very depressed because here I am home. I'm not really working because I'm not doing anything. I have no business really to speak of, and everybody else is out working. I'm the only person with no place to go, and I was starting to really get into that depression when all of this started with COVID, and started networking. And the whole time of the lockdown, I never felt stir crazy, and I never felt alone because I had these Zoom meetings. So I could sit here and talk to somebody and laugh and talk about business, talk about, you talk about semi-personal things, you talk about things. So you have conversations with people. So I was talking to people all day, and people were curious about the books. They started getting curious. They started referring, they started asking, and they started buying. So, yeah, there was that time in the beginning that it was really bad for me, really hard for me. See myself now up there. My as I said, my company was flatlining, and then I had this coach, and he started bringing it up, and it's coming up more and more. There's more interest, more clients, and I'm doing more. That was my first expo. I mean, I've been to many, but I've never participated in one, and so that was my first experience as a vendor in the expo. And it happened to have been a very good experience. I love my books. I love what I do. And I love the finished product. I'm very proud of it. And the printer, the printing, the books themselves are very good quality. And what made me feel really good at the expo was that when people were looking at it, they made comments about the quality of the books, about the book covers and the paper and the color, and they're sturdy. I'm not a maven on paper, but I know a lot about paper because I was in print advertising and dealt with so many different magazines and different publications. So it's a good quality paper, and So I'm very happy right now. I think that my enthusiasm sometimes runs off on people. And so it creates an interest uh, that they want to see more. So that's what I like now. As I said, I'm getting more clients now. It's the holiday time, so I'm hoping that, I'll be really busy. And like you said, you're doing something, you work all hours. I'll work till I did a book for my family, and it was a fun book. It was a whimsical book, and I worked until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, last year for the holidays to do that, and I didn't care.
You got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you
When I first started, one of my first one-to-ones, this guy came on and said, you're a dinosaur. He says, you're not going to sell any books. He says, people don't want books. They want everything electronic. That's it, just everything electronic. And this was my very beginning in networking. And he totally deflated me. Totally. I mean, I was nervous enough about doing this. Is this going to work? Are people going to be interested? This one's an insurance, this one's an attorney, and then what am I? I'm designing photo books, um, not realizing. And I learned during that time what I do for people by telling their story and by preserving their memories and all of that. I never even knew that. I never thought about it initially. So learning is just, you need to keep learning. You absolutely need to keep learning. I would like people to remember me. I think about my kids. I have 7 grandchildren, and I never wanted them to ever say, oh, my grandmother's coming tomorrow, I can't go out and play, I have to dress nice. I mean, I didn't want anything like that. So I don't give them a birthday present per se. Their gift is we spend the day together, just the 2 of us, and we do something super special, and we go out for dinner, and we talk, and we laugh, and we get to know each other on a different level. I would like to be remembered for, being smart, I hope, being loving, honest, warm, caring, and rich. I'd like to be rich before I die. No, but that's important to me. Honesty is very important to me. Trust is very important to me, and warmth and love and compassion and understanding, all of that is very important to me.